what's going on YouTube? It's Nick from Noobkill coming at you with another video today. So guys, welcome back to another episode of Nick's Picks. This is where I give you guys my NFL predictions. This is going to be for week 4. Last week for week 3. Man, it was a crazy weekend. It was an unbelievable weekend. Of course, every single weekend with football is an unbelievable weekend. But that being said, there was just so many upsets. I got 8 games wrong in total. So the whole final stat sheets, I got 7 games right and got 8 games wrong. So we went 7 and 8, of course. But this week is a new week. We got some new picks. We got new games, of course, so it's going to be pretty exciting to see some more football on Sunday. But starting it all off, we did have our Thursday night game. It was Green Bay versus the Bears, and man, it was like hyped up, all the history of Green Bay versus the Bears, and it was tied, I believe, 96 or 90 something, and they had a couple ties, and this one was to break and see who won the most against each other. It just did not. The defense, it wasn't exciting. It wasn't crazy. I actually didn't even watch any bit of the games. I did catch the highlights. Nothing too crazy out of the whole game. But that being said, we do got another game starting at 9:30. I don't know, is this one in London as well? But I am making this video earlier. I'm posting this, a little later than the 9:30 games. It will be before the 1 o'clock games, just like last week, guys. I do record these videos prior ahead. So I know some of you guys I called the Ravens to win last week, and after they were losing, you're like, yo, you should remake the video. But hey man, I make these videos before any scores come out, so you guys know that we got the Dolphins versus the New Orleans Saints. Now the Saints, they actually surprised me because I thought they were going to lose against Carolina. They played last week, played very, very bad, and they actually, with that defense, I thought Carolina could at least do something, and they won that game, I think by a touchdown and a bit. I can't remember the final score, but they did win, and I thought they were doomed on that game. And in Miami, they're playing in Miami though, but last week you lost to the Jets and you almost got shut out by the Jets. Let me just say that again. You got almost shut out by the Jets. That is unbelievable. That is just insane. But I think they got the point spread for New Orleans. It's played in Miami. I think Miami's really got to prove themselves. They didn't play in week 1. They played pretty good in week 2. I forget who they played. And then the next weekend, last weekend, they did terrible. But I think they really need to prove themselves. They got a good team. Jay Cutler's still shaky, but they still got a good team on defense. I think they need to just find themselves again. I think Miami's going to win that game. Now, moving on to our next game, we got New England versus the Carolina Panthers. We just said the Carolina Panthers lost to the Saints, which was pretty bad. And in New England, we did win. This is where my bias comes in a little bit. I'm going to pick New England here. We are at home, too, as well. We did win, but it was a crazy. Tom Terrific had to go down, 2-minute drill. It was pretty insane. I didn't think it was going to be that close of a game, but we still came up on top. And I think with the problems that Carolina is having on offense, Greg Olsen's not there. The defense is just not doing what they need to do. I think New England, even though our secondary, our defense, our linebackers, our defensive tackles, we do need help. Hopefully Hightower comes back soon, but our offense is still clicking. So I'm going to give this one to New England. Like I said, a little biased, but I say the Pats do win this. Moving on to our next one. This one's going to be a really big game. This is always a big division rivalry matchup game. Whenever we got Pittsburgh versus Baltimore, it's always exciting. It always comes down to the wire. And I think Ravens have been taking the edge over the last couple matchups. And of course, Steelers, they lost last week in overtime against the Chicago Bears, which really shocked me. But of course, Baltimore, they had the early 9:30 in the morning game for Eastern time, and of course, they're playing in London. And they got their butts handed to them. It was 44 to I can't remember what Baltimore scored, but it was pretty bad. They were losing by at least 20-something at halftime. When I woke up, they were getting destroyed already. I didn't even wake up to watch that game, but I just looked at the score and I was like, oh my goodness, this is mad. And they're playing in Baltimore this weekend. Both teams do got to show up again, and Macklin is cleared, I believe. I think I'm going to give this one to Baltimore. They are at home. I'm sorry, Steelers fans. I'm going to give this one to the Ravens. Moving on to our next game, we get the Cincinnati Bengals versus the Cleveland Browns. And I thought, I called the Green Bay Packers to win last weekend, and they did. They won in overtime, but when it was at halftime, they had a 21-7 point lead. I think the Bengals had at halftime, and I'm like, yo, they could actually win this. They actually just started crumbling. They got a pick 6, which was great for them, but they lost. And then last weekend, the Browns, I thought they were gonna win against the Colts, and they ended up getting their butts handed to them as well. This one's played in Cleveland, and I'm actually going to go ahead and pick the Cleveland Browns, man. I think this is the week that they get their first win, guys. Myles Garrett, he is cleared, I believe, to play as well, so that's going to be pretty awesome to see him. But yeah, I'm getting that one to the Cleveland Browns. Now, our next team, we got the Rams versus the Dallas Cowboys. Dallas did win. I believe it was the Monday night game against the Cardinals, and the Rams did win last weekend against the 49ers in that Thursday night matchup. Now, that Thursday night matchup, it was pretty intense. I went to sleep when they had like a 40 to 28 point lead, and I thought it was done. And I wake up the next morning, and they only won by, I think, 2 points. It was close. It was really close, man. Or it was like 3 points they won by. And I was just like, wow. But when I was watching them play, they were clicking. Todd Gurley was having an awesome game as well. Sammy Watkins was getting touchdowns. I don't know if he got like hit really hard in the head. I heard there was something, but I think he is playing. Now, Dallas, they did win against the Cardinals on the Monday night game as well. They're playing down in Dallas. I'm going to give this one to the Dallas Cowboys there. Moving on to our next game, we got the Tennessee Titans versus the Houston Texans. Now, like I said, the Texans really shocked me last week. The rookie quarterback played definitely not like a rookie quarterback. He played fantastic. Deshaun Watson, he was scrambling around. He was making magic plays, and it was making me very frustrated when I was watching that game. And the defense, Clowney, J.J. Watt, man, once you have those two guys, it's like a pass. It's like the offensive line nightmare. Like, honestly, they're crazy. Merciless is there. All of it is just mad. Of course, their cornerbacks, they have that one rookie cornerback and stuff, or that one guy that was like undrafted that people try to target, but still, the team played really well and really shocked me when they played the Patriots. But they're going to be playing against the Tennessee Titans, and the Tennessee Titans, they put up the numbers against Seattle. They both had a really high scoring game. I'm going to give this one to the Titans. They are on the road, but I'm going to give that one to the Titans. Moving on to our next one, this is going to be one of the biggest games to watch at the 1 o'clock games. This is going to be very exciting. Matthew Stafford and the Detroit Lions, I felt like they got snuffed last weekend. I really thought they should have won the ending, I guess, but I guess the rule was to like run 10 seconds off. It really sucked of waiting to losing like in that fashion, of course. Well, any type of way of losing it sucks, but just that way it was like 8 seconds. They had no chance, and they're like, nah, you got to run off 10 seconds. That was crazy. Of course, we got the Minnesota Vikings. I did not expect them to win last week against Tampa Bay, and they did really good. Stephon Diggs had a breakout, another amazing week, I should say. It's just like a regular week for Stephon Diggs, I guess. He's an awesome wide receiver, but they are giving this one to the Minnesota Vikings. It's at home, but I'm going to give this one to the Lions. Matthew Stafford is just looking like such a different quarterback from last season. He has grown so much as well. Like, he's just calling plays. The defense is really good as well. It's getting better, I should say. So I'm going to give this one to the Detroit Lions. They are playing in Minnesota, but I'm going to give this one to the Lions. Next, we got the Buffalo Bills versus the Atlanta Falcons. Now, the Falcons, like we just said with the Lions, they got that lucky, that win that kind of like was like, what just happened? And then, of course, Buffalo did beat the Broncos last week, and I feel like Buffalo's that team. Buffalo's always that team. I do like Buffalo. I watch their games. I'm from Toronto, guys, so that's like my next door neighbor. So that's like the second team I cheer for. But Buffalo, it's like that team where it's like they face up against a good team and they'll win. They'll face up like the Broncos and Patriots. They'll win games. They'll win a couple games against the Patriots when they're like depending here and there. They'll come out of nowhere. When you think Buffalo's out and down for the count because last week they just lost to like the Browns or something, or like a team that's really bad. They just lost them last week, and you're like, yo, they played terrible last week. Moving on to next week, where they're gonna lose again, and then they somehow surprise you and win. And the Broncos came out the week before that, beating, I believe, the Dallas Cowboys. So we were like, yo, Denver's got this, but Buffalo came up on top. Atlanta, they are playing in Atlanta. This one is always like, Buffalo's always that questionable team. Like, yo, you don't know when they're just going to like turn it on and have a great game. But I'm going to give this one to Atlanta, though. They are playing at home. Julio Jones, Devontae Freeman, that offense is crazy, man. It's just mad. Next, we got the Jets versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. Jaguars beat the Baltimore Ravens in London. And then the Jets, they did win, almost got the shutout against Miami. Now, this one is in New York. The point spread is not too high. It's only 3 points, but I still think that Jacksonville is going to take this pretty solid. Like, if they can just play how they did last week, there's no question. There's no question they're going to win this game like easily. Moving on to our next game. This one is actually tough, man. San Fran, yes, they did lose. They did allow 42 points, I believe, scored on them, but they kept it close. They kept it close. They start off the game really bad. Hoyer threw that pick right in the beginning of the game. But they stuck there and fought back. And I know it was like the Rams, maybe they didn't want to, they gave up. I went to sleep, so I don't even know what was going on, but they just gave up a lot of points. The onside kick was lit, I believe. That's what I heard. And of course, the Cardinals, they did lose last weekend to the Dallas Cowboys. This one's tough. I really want to see San Fran. I want to see like these teams get a win, like San Fran. But I don't see San Fran getting a win this weekend. I'm giving this one to the Cardinals. Moving on to our next team, we do got the Philadelphia Eagles versus the Chargers. Now the Chargers are actually the favorite, is what the score is saying, by 2.5 points. But I'm giving this one to the Eagles, man. The Eagles, they played really good against the Giants last weekend. They kind of crumbled in the second half, but that 61-yard field goal, man. Do we have to say anything else? That was mad. I think they still played a solid game throughout. I was just like, the Giants just found what they needed to do. It's not really the defense fell apart. Like, yes, there was a couple of miscommunications in the secondary, but I still feel like they played a sound overall game. The Chargers, man, first 2 weeks, they had really close games, came down to 2 field goals. Last week they played the Kansas City Chiefs, didn't really help out in their favor playing the Chiefs. The Chiefs are on a tear, man. But yeah, I still think this one, Philly is going to win this. Now, this game right here is going to be the Giants and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Both teams lost last weekend. Last week, the Giants lost to Philly and Tampa Bay lost to Minnesota. But I don't know, man. Do you see the Giants going 0-4? That is the question. That is the big question. Like, I can see Tampa Bay winning, but the drive that New York has right now, like, it's basically, their playoff hopes are, they said it's 100% that they're not going to make playoffs, and no team has made the playoffs. 0% chance, I said, not 100%, with an 0-3 start. But I don't know, man. The team is still really, really strong. On paper, they're amazing. They're amazing on paper. They just haven't been playing like it. McAdoo has been making some whack calls. And Tampa Bay, I really thought they were going to win it last week against Minnesota. And I'm going to put my faith in Tampa Bay again. I'm putting my faith in Tampa Bay. They are the favorite, but I don't even know, man. That one was a tough game. I'm going to give that one to Tampa just because I think they can come and win that and come up and win that game. But I don't know. That one is a really tough one. I wouldn't be surprised if Giants win it by maybe a touchdown. But I'm going to give that one to Tampa Bay. I don't know. I like Jameis Winston. Moving on to our next team, we got the Denver Broncos versus the Oakland Raiders. The Oakland Raiders got beat last week against the Redskins in that Sunday night football game. I believe it was Sunday night. And I was really shocked on that one. Crabtree is ruled out, guys. He is out. Done. He is not playing at all. And then, of course, the Denver Broncos, they lost last week against the Buffalo Bills, and that was just a shocker. But coming out, they're playing in the Mile High. I'm going to give this one to Denver. Yes, Oakland has a really great team. Derek Carr, phenomenal quarterback. But I just feel like Denver Broncos, that defense is going to have to step up. And, of course, that offense really has to step up and prove to themselves that, like, yo, we just lost to the Bills last week. It was very, very disappointing. We're playing at home. We got to do it for the fans. Let's go ahead and win this game. I think Denver wins that game against Oakland. That is a big game as well. Nice division matchup. Moving up to our last game on Sunday, and that's the Sunday night football game. This one sounds like a no-brainer. The point spread is 13 points for Seattle. I'm gonna give it to Seattle, but the way the Colts played last week too as well. They played against the Browns, which is kind of like, yo. But I don't know, Seattle's offense and it just doesn't look like the same team. The offense is just not there. I don't know, man, but they did put up 28 points, which was good for the Seahawks, I guess, for this season because they've been having really low-scoring games. But I know they're going to win this one. They are in Seattle. They got the 12th man with them. But it is just scary, that Seattle offense. Like, not in a good way, too. Moving on to our final and last game, and that's the Monday night game. And I know you Washington Redskins fans are always like, Nick, you never pick the Redskins. And honestly, this weekend, I was going to pick the Washington Redskins, but I don't know. And I'm making this video on a Saturday night or Sunday morning now. It's 12 o'clock in the morning. And what I've been reading is like half your offense is injured. They're all questionable. They're all questionable for for playing. You got like 4 players on offense, and you got 4 players on defense that are questionable. And another guy's ruled out. He had like some surgery, muscle surgery or something like that. So it's tough. And like I said, Kansas City has been on a tear. They've been on a tear since they kicked my Patriots' butts in the kickoff opening game. And they are playing at home. I don't see KC losing this one. I know Redskin fans, I don't pick your team, and I apologize for that. But like this series says, like the series is, I don't pick who I like favorite teams beside the Patriots, which is kind of biased. I do apologize for that. But I know it's gonna upset you guys with this series, and that's the point. Well, kind of the point. The point is, of course, I say this every week, is for you guys to talk football in the comments. If you guys don't think that the Browns are gonna beat the Bengals, Cincinnati Bengals, tell me in the comment section below, man. Be like, Nick, you're crazy. I think the Bengals are gonna win. And then some guy chimes in, and you guys just start chatting it up in the comment section. That's the whole point. It's just to talk football, guys. These are my picks for this weekend. Those are what I think are gonna win. Will they win? I have no clue. We'll have to see. It is Sunday morning, but we'll see what the games. But yeah, guys, tell me guys your picks in the comment section below. I really want to say thank you guys so much for watching. Always stay hyped, and of course, guys, have an awesome football Sunday and a Monday Night Football as well. Catch you guys soon. Peace.